advertisement of the app used out on the West Coast to promote a digital media company. And that was the beginning of our story here today at CAVR Resources. We had an incredible product. We were prepared to launch on 420 this year. And due to COVID, in the heat of things, when everything shut down and all public establishments or crowds or events were uh, stopped, which pretty much took every bit of our marketing strategy away from us. We had planned music events, which we still do today, but I'll explain a little bit more about that. We had a grassroots campaign. We were going to do the Tarps of Love, where we were going to show up and drop off a bunch of tarps at a big event out in the area of, like, say, Seattle or Portland, to help those that live on the streets, providing new roofs with just our logo on it. And we had some really exciting college strategies around having our own ambassadors, brand ambassadors, hiring a staff in the top 20 universities in California. At first, that was going to be our initial target, and everything just got put on hold. But what it did do is it gave us an opportunity to take, a V1 first release and really rebuild it based off of the data that we've been collecting. And today, Shaun Fuller will be going in, sharing with everyone on the call the app, how it looks, how it works, and what it is. And it's actually available. If anybody has been part of our beta team, we've been utilizing it on our version 1. No one other than our team here has seen this app, but we're about to share it today. Have added. That said, thank you again for believing in us. This app is an incredible product. It appeals to our market, which is the Gen Z, the millennial. It is kind of the forefront of our lifestyle brand, where it's how you meet. People are socializing today via the web, via the apps, meeting more than ever, especially in a time of social interactions limited. It's even increased. But in addition to that, it's a true business. It was built on monetization principles first and foremost. And we'll go into that a little bit more. Shaun will share that with you as he moves through the app and what it does. But it also, I wanted to do something where I wanted to make, as a cannabis user, something that's not, you don't have to highlight it. Hey, it's just there. It's like a glass of wine. I don't meet someone and say, hey, by the way, before we talk, I drink wine. It's not even talked about. It's assumed, accepted, and fun. As a matter of fact, you'll see. And in addition, what I wanted to do is, I didn't, in today's social apps, how you meet, you look at a picture, swipe left, swipe right. I didn't want it to be based off, okay, he's an attractive person, she's an attractive. I want it to be based off of real. And you literally get a chance to meet someone before you even see what they look like. Um, Sounds really fun. It ties back to the difference of what Snapchat did, we're doing. But it really has a lot to do with money too, because the average app impression is about 3 seconds for an advertiser. If you're on YouTube and watch a video, I've said this a million times, everyone just hits skip ad. Well, ours, you'll see, Shaun will show you that you actually watch it for 60 seconds. So it's about 20 times the average exposure. So we've actually have our own term. It's called expression. But the app is a really great business. It's the first of many that we have planned. It's ready to rock and roll. We have some more things that Shaun will share with you that we're doing. But our plan and our strategy, even if it has to be 100% virtual, we're ready to go April 20th this year. Blue Cheese has already put together a list of different artists that he has spoke with about private performances from their home studios, just to those that download the app, private concerts. And we're not talking about a band that maybe sells an arena of 1,000. We're talking about an artist that you'll see today on the TV, MTV, or here on the radio. And very, very selected in different genres to target a specific audience, specific location. What's the artist popularity in that market. All of that is being put in. And we're going to grow it, market, aftermarket organically. And we have a whole marketing strategy that we or will gladly release to anybody of interest. But that said, I just want to get to sharing with everybody the app. If you have any questions, feel free to email us at the end, info@cushionamerica.com. But let me go ahead and send it over to Shaun, and he'll share with you everything about SoKu.
Thanks a lot, Bob. Hope everyone's doing well today, and thank you for joining our call and our walkthrough of SoKu that we've been working on for a while now. And as Bob was saying, and we mentioned in the press release, we kind of had a blessing in disguise in delaying the initial planned launch of this. We've been able to work on updating the UI and making it feel more modern and fresh. And some feedback we've been getting was, more avatar content, and that's kind of a never-ending thing in a good way. And we'll hit on that during this demo as well. So yeah, we're excited to show you the app, and I will start sharing my screen. All right. Bob, since you're the only one that can talk, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so this is your landing page on SoKu where you log in. Obviously, like any app, once you've logged in, it saves your credentials and you don't have to keep logging in every time. So once you first sign into the app, there's three main views we have. Our slogan is Chat, Connect, Chill. And those are the three tabs that we have at the bottom of the app. We have Chat, Connect, and Chill. And so these are kind of the three main experiences that users will go through in the app. Chatting kind of being the core one of those, but then what happens after you chat. So in our workflow or the user flow that our end users will go through, once they chat with someone, they make what we call a connection. So a connection is just like making a friend on Facebook. So once you're connected, you can chat with that person at any time. You can see their full profile, as Bob mentioned. When you first connect or meet with someone that you've never connected to before, you don't actually see their profile, you just see their avatar. So you can judge that person based on the conversation you have with them. And if you like each other, you guys will connect. So we'll walk through that in this demo. So as I said, the three main tabs are Chat, Connect, and Chill. The first one you see when you log into the app is Chill, and this is mostly because this is what you're going to use to manage your friend groups. So we have circles, and then those are essentially like lists of friends, and then tags, which are interests that you have. And we'll hit on tags in a little bit.
Well, before you go, Shaun, let me just mention about the tags. If I wanted this app to be something that people use for their own personal. I just didn't want it to be a hookup app or a dating app. But if that's what someone wanted to use it for, then great. But what I wanted to create is that there's some people that want to create study groups on campus. They could put that in a circle. Some people have intramural sports and do different things. Some people have local, friends in the town. Some people have maybe a dating interest, so they could put, potential boyfriend, girlfriend, or I like, or however it is that they can manage those relationships right out of the gate. And that's the beautiful thing. It's not just one thing, and that's why we called it the world's first chill app. It's up to you. But go ahead, Shaun. Sorry.
Yeah. No need to apologize. That's a fantastic point. Yeah, circles can really be anything. They're up to you. You create your own circles. You add whatever connections or friends you want to into that circle, and you can have as many of them as you want, as many people as you want. And we also have the ability to customize circles. I don't have it in this demo, but you can set photos for each circle, just kind of like a little icon to indicate what those circles are to you. And one thing that's in our roadmap for later on down the road is we want to have group chat. So if you've got 5 of your best friends, or the scenario that Bob mentioned, a study group, and you want to bring everybody into a real-time chat, you'll be able to send a chat request to the entire circle and start a group chat where all of you can be chatting at one time. So it's a little bit different than like a text thread, because this is in real time, and you'll see everyone's avatar kind of talking to one another. So what I'll show you today is a one-on-one chat, but circle chats are in our roadmap because we think that's really powerful. One of the things that I think of when we talk about the group chats is remember chat rooms from back in the day, AOL chat rooms. I think even though they're kind of gone by the wayside, I do think there's value in those, especially when you can control who is in that chat room. So that's kind of how we envision circles, is like a small chat room where you can have a group of friends get together, talk about whatever, maybe plan a hangout that you're doing, or plan a study session, or just talk about whatever. So circles are really powerful and they're very flexible. So that's one of the kind of key components that we have when you make connections with people, is you can create circles and group them together that way. And when you view a circle, you'll see everyone who's in the circle. So again, these are people that you have connected to, and it shows either their avatar icon or their profile photo if they've uploaded one. So in this example, the second user has a profile photo, the first one does not. And you can send chat requests straight from here. So this is a request that says, hey, Shaun is online and wants to chat with you on SoKu. So the other person would actually receive a push notification. All they have to do is tap it, and it takes them straight into SoKu in a chat with you. So one click, and boom, you're right in the chat. So that's what the notifications are for, and that's the system that we will utilize to facilitate group chats as well. So circles and tags aren't the most helpful, and at the very beginning, if you have not built your profile yet. So the first thing that a new user will be directed to do is to fill out their profile and create their avatar. So the profile is something that's only going to be seen by people that you have connected with. It's not public until you have connected with someone. Your avatar is what everyone can see when they're chatting with you. So profile is a little bit more personal. So we have some basic information on here. You can upload a profile photo. That's me and my dog. You can also include links to your social media accounts. So when someone else is viewing your profile, it's one tap and they can go follow you on Twitter, follow you on Instagram, follow you on TikTok, follow you on Snapchat. So this also facilitates good social connections. So you can get to know more about this person that you've connected with on SoKu by checking out their social media. And these are optional. So if you want to be private and anonymous, then you don't have to fill these out. And you can also have a bio about yourself as well. And that's what other people will see. So this is kind of your public profile, if you will. And then there's also your avatar. So this is my little customized guy. But new users are directed to fill out their profile and their avatar before they chat. This is what other users will interact with when you're chatting with them. And all of the components on this avatar are customizable. So I can swap out, my t-shirt and pants and all that. I can edit my facial shape, add some 5 o'clock shadow. There's lots of different options here. Yeah.
Didn't want to interrupt. Just got a text from somebody saying that they were trying to get in the call. Do we have any waiting?
Yes. Let me check. Right. Sorry.
No worries. Sorry, good.
I don't see the admit screen when I'm sharing. Bob, I made you a co-host. If you see the admit button, I think you can let people in.
All right, I'll look for that. All right, thank you.
Yep. So yeah, you can edit your face shape, your mouth. We've got 2 different mouth options. We're going to have some more in there later on down the road. Swap out your hair, change your hair color, get down to your eye color and different sets of eyebrows. So all kinds of different things you can customize here. Add some eyeshadow. And then there's also accessories. So I've got some glasses on here, or some more fun sunglasses. So this is content that when you first sign up, there's a lot of different content that we give to new users by default. And we don't want to limit them to just those options. And so one of the things that we've built out and we're continuing to add more to is the store. And so the shop. So in the shop, we have different accessories and different clothing items that you can purchase. We're also going to be adding different scenes. I'll get to that when we get to chatting, that you can unlock. And so this is one of our revenue streams, is all of the different content that we offer in the shop for users to purchase. And we have, we built our own currency in the app. It's called Kush Coins. And users can just go in and buy more Kush Coins. They're given a set amount when they first register, enough to buy a few different outfits. And at any point in time, they can purchase more. So this is one way that we have revenue coming in from the users. And so it's priced pretty moderately. We did a lot of market research into other apps just to see, what kind of price points were out there. So with these in-app purchases, that's one revenue stream that we get coming in from the end users.
Yeah, Shaun, let me just say it, that this is the one thing that I learned from my son. He kept asking me after I bought him a game called Grand Theft Auto 5. He kept saying, "Dad, can I get a $20 Xbox card?" And I couldn't figure out, what do you need it for? It's because the people that gamification, they customize. No one really wants to represent themselves as the out of the box avatar. So, I would buy the things that make me look more like me or my style or how I want to present myself. And it's a very common, actually a very successful model that Fortnite uses, and they call them skins. Pretty much, they create animated outfits, and you can buy an outfit, and that's the same concept of what we're doing. And the beauty of that is, the asset is nothing more than animation. So the more we draw, which costs us next to nothing, is really what we sell. So from a business perspective, it's really a nice design. So go ahead. I'm sorry, Shaun.
Yeah, no worries. And I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to hit on the same point. You're totally right. From a workload perspective, it does not take a lot of time to create new content for avatars. So that's a pipeline we can constantly be churning through and having different content that users can purchase in the shop. And that drives revenue and engagement as well. If you've got a new outfit for your avatar, you probably want to show it off, right?
Yeah, I mean, and it's just, and also it's not just clothing. It's, at every holiday there's the Easter bunny suit or the Christmas things or Mickey Mouse type stuff. You go off of the holidays, on tax, 4th of July, Uncle Sam hats, and these young users, that's what they do. They stay festive. They live through the technology, and it's nothing more than just a click on their phone because they've already set the payment up with their Apple account, so they don't have to put a credit card in. Click purchase, 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 purchase. And so the numbers when we ran our beta, our test of just our market data, we had, I think, over 80% of the users committed to customizing at least 2 to 3 times per month, which was crazy.
Yeah.
But anyway, go ahead, Shaun.
Yeah, and really, there's so many different avenues to content that we can build out. You can have seasonal content like Bob was mentioning. You can have topical content. Memes are a big thing with Gen Z and millennials, and so you could have meme content related to current issues going on. With the wildfires in California, you could have some shirts or some outfits related to that. Obviously, the election is coming up. You could have people purchase content based on that. So there's all kinds of stuff we can do, and we can even one thing we've discussed is user generated content, having contests where people submit images for their own t-shirts, and those get voted on by other users, and then it gets selected, and that's a featured item in the store, and we give some credit to the user that created it. So there's a huge revenue stream here that will help users stay engaged and have a constantly iterating pipeline of content and good revenue for us. So we're really excited about the shop because the possibilities are really endless there. All right, so moving on from the avatar and your profile, once you have that set up, you come to the chat view. So this is where you're going to find people to chat with and possibly make connections with. And one of the things that we've built is we call them scenes. So there's these backgrounds that essentially your avatar will be hanging out in. And we've got a handful of scenes in here now, and we'll constantly be adding more. And as I mentioned earlier, there will be scenes that you can unlock within the shop as well. So we'll probably build out some seasonal scenes as well. Halloween's coming up, Christmas, all that, and then as time goes on, we can reuse those scenes, right? So scenes are kind of what your avatar hangs out in. And a key concept that Bob mentioned earlier was expressions, which is our version of placed advertisements. So with expressions, if you look in this scene, there's a poster on the back wall, and there's a television, and there's a pizza box. So those are actually dynamic images that we can just place onto the scene. So when advertisers are looking to advertise within SoKu, they can purchase one of the placements in any of our scenes. And those can even be dynamic, where if a user taps on that, it would open something up in their browser, take them to, the Xbox website, or, TV show's website, or what have you. And what Bob was mentioning about that the average impression on an ad is usually about 3 seconds. Ours is 60 seconds, and I'll show you why once we get started with chatting.
Hey, Shaun, before you
So,
go off of
yeah.
that point, I just wanted to add something about that pizza box, for example. We'll be very specific because it's built on a native platform and it has GPS. Because
Mhm.
if somebody just wants to chat with somebody that's in New York and they meet someone in Iowa just for the fun of it, great. But I think that the main goal would be to find someone that you could eventually meet in real life. And so by utilizing the GPS technologies, what we have done is we've built these active advertising links to be location based. So that one pizza box isn't one person spending X amount of dollars a month. It could be 10,000, because if I'm in Portland, Oregon, the closest pizza advertisement in that market would come up. But if I'm in Seattle, if I'm in Texas, if I'm in, you see, so there are so much landscape in that one screen based off of location. But then you could have national, which you could charge for national, or people like Domino's and so on, so they could drive users. And that's the value and the way it was built. So I just wanted to share that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Thank you for bringing up the GPS. So GPS is one of the criteria you can use when you're trying to find someone to chat with, and it also factors into our advertising placements. So, this poster on the back wall, for example, we could sell that placement to thousands of different companies across the country who just want to advertise to people in their local market, instead of just one placement that we have to, show a certain number of times. So this is really flexible for us to have location-based advertising in all the scenes. And each of our scenes have usually between 3 and 5 different placements. Sorry, 2 to 5. So before you chat, you can turn on or off some of these filters. So you can specify a specific gender you're looking for. You can specify location, kind of how close you want someone to be, or it doesn't really matter. And then also interests. So you can choose any of the interests that you filled out on the chill tab, and we will match you with somebody who also shares that interest. That way, if there's a certain topic you want to discuss, maybe you want to talk about the presidential election, you can put that in there, and it will find you somebody who's also interested in that. Or you want to talk about snowboarding or baking. I'm an amateur baker. So sometimes it's fun to just talk to people about that. So this can really narrow down how the algorithm finds you someone to chat with, or you can just, specify that it doesn't matter for any of these and it will find you someone random. But we always use your location in the background to try to find you someone close, because that's important. It's a lot easier to make, real meaningful connections with someone who's down the road from you versus someone who's half the country away. So this is our chat view. So I'm talking with this other guy who popped in. So, it's much like a text chat. And so you can converse and talk with one another. And here, what you're seeing at the top is what we call our connect timer. You have 60 seconds to chat with this person, see if you like one another. And once that time runs out, which you'll see here in about 25 seconds, you're both given the option to connect with each other. And if you connect, then you become friends and you'll see each other on your connections tab, and then you can add them to circles and chat with them later. And the chat keeps going as well. If one of the two of you elects not to connect, then the chat ends and you go back into a queue and we'll find you someone else to chat with. So at this point, this one's coming up now. And then you get 10 seconds to decide. Once you've connected, it shows both of your profile photos because now you're able to see that other person's profile. And then our chat can keep going. And a couple of fun things we've added in here is that if you notice when I'm typing, my avatar's mouth will start babbling to show that he's talking, and the other person will see that as well. So I'll switch over to the other user, and you'll see that his mouth is, babbling as well. So that's just kind of a little interactive feature that we have built in there. So you're just kind of hanging out, chatting with one another, talk about whatever topics you want to discuss.
Hey, Shaun,
Go ahead, Bob.
I don't know if you were going to mention, but like we wanted to create it to where it's very interactive, other than just chatting. So because again, the way we built the device, it being native, that we utilize any power of what's on the phone. And if you shake a phone, you can actually command a phone. If you swipe a screen, you can command a phone. Well, on ours, if you shake the phone, it passes the bong to the other person. I don't know if you've noticed it, but we're also doing things in our future roadmap that we swipe up, they high five, they swipe an X to blow a kiss, swipe an O, give a hug, swipe like, just like we could get incredibly creative. But the
Yep.
point is that our goal is to create interaction because
Right.
that will, Shaun just showed you the first, we call it a shoke trademark, but it's the shake toke, the shoke. But anyway, but all right, sorry, go ahead, Shaun.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, and definitely what you're mentioning, Bob, kind of the sky's the limit because our avatars aren't just static images, they're animated components. So we can animate them, they can talk and blink and wave at each other. So, it's kind of fun to start adding those features in. So this is
A
yeah, go
lot
ahead.
of these young users, the millennial, the Gen Z, more of the Gen Z, you hear about Instagram and TikTok, and I don't know if any of our shareholders or those on the call have kids that are, but I know that my 18-year-old daughter is on TikTok, and she tells me, "Hey, Dad, I got 12,000 followers. I got and then I look at these folks, and I mean these children, and they're trying to really emphasize on how to create followers. Well, here is a tool unlike no other that exists that organically if you sit there, you can make many connections, and if you like them, you can introduce them to your profile, which gives them access to follow you. And so I think that's a great, from a business perspective, it's a really great differentiator to separate ourselves in any app out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and another thing that I didn't mention when we were in the shop is, currently my guy has a bong in his hand, but you'll be able to unlock additional content in the shop to hold whatever you want, or you can just be holding nothing if you want that too. So that's another, avenue of content that we can create is the item that's being shared between the two of you.
Yeah, we have a couple strategies in place for future. Once our success here in the domestic market, we can launch something like this over in in the Middle East, because it's all art. So you create the outfits that are relative. You create the styles and the background scenes, and you simply remove the bong and put a hookah. Or maybe we launch it in an Asian market that we replace the bong with a cup of tea, or we add in a feature where rather than a bong, and say you meet a young man meets a young lady, maybe he can select the flowers and shake the phone and give flowers. That's the business behind it, but it truly is what creates that end user experience, which is the most important part of an app's success.
Yeah, absolutely. And it makes it a lot more engaging too. You're not just sending text-based messages to someone, you're also interacting with their avatar. So it's a lot more fun than just, DMing someone or tweeting at someone. Yeah.
But
So yeah, go ahead.
go ahead, John. I'm good.
So the last thing I was going to hit on was the Connect tab. So this shows you everyone that you've connected with. And I mentioned this earlier, but you can go to someone's profile and you'll see their avatar. This person doesn't have a profile photo. So it shows their avatar, and then you can add them to any circles. You can also do that from the circles view as well. And then there's also a way to search for friends. So it's the same way as the chat functionality when you search. And it's just a way to find people online and then ask them to chat instead of being randomly paired with somebody. So yeah, once you go through the process of chatting and making connections, you can manage them with the chill tabs and the connect tab, and chat with them at any point in time because now you're connected.
And perfect.
Yeah.
So
So
I guess
that's it.
anything else, Shaun?
That's all for me. Yeah, we're
Awesome.
excited to keep. Currently the focus is Bob. I know you mentioned this in the press release, but we're rebuilding some of our back end just to make it very scalable, and we're also working on a lot more content right now. So now that we've got the pipeline set up, everything is working. We're churning out a lot of different content that we're building into the app. So getting all that set up so that we can start broadening the scope of who's using it and get it out in the app store.
Yeah.
So we're really excited.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Shaun. You know how I feel about the app, and but it's something that we've talked about, and I wanted everybody to take the time out to see it because it really is an awesome product. But most importantly, it's real. There it is. So I wanted everybody to know that this is the Fact Series, and I reiterate this every week. Everything that we're doing, we're really doing. Everything that we say, we've already done. And this app is ready to rock and roll. We have an incredible marketing strategy behind it. I actually asked Blue Cheese to join the call. He's like, "Oh yeah, just hit me up. I'm in LA." I don't know what I'm going to call, so we're going to pass. But I'm going to have him do a video. I asked him if he could do a video, and I'll post it out on Twitter for everybody that to talk about his involvement with SoKu and how excited they are out in LA in the music industry to get behind something that's really fun. One of the things that we were planning on doing at the end of the year, this coming year, with 1 year, was our first anniversary to have a large event with top artists. And it's pretty much like a jam festival with some of the greatest bands throughout the day, out in an area selected that, of course, in the market that we've penetrated. But to get in, you download the app, that's your ticket. 100,000 people, you make a connection, you're backstage. And so we have the opportunities in front of us. We have a great product. We know we can execute. We just have to be patient while COVID, is in our face. But it's okay. It hasn't stopped us. It's actually helped us. And I just wanted to share with everybody our app. And thank you so much for participating. And if you have any questions or any comments, feel free to email info@cushamerica.com. I did, just to close, I did get a ton of emails after last week. I apologize. We utilized Zoom. We were Zoom bombed. I guess even after you set the mute everyone upon entries, there are some hackers that have a way to overcome that, and which they did. But so we moved over to WebEx Cisco. Shaun is not only our chief developer; he teaches at the university coding in Charlotte, North Carolina, and he helped us put together a very secure platform. So thank you for that, Shaun. And
Yeah, no problem.
but back to what I'm saying is about this is what we have, and this is what we are. This is a product that's going to give us unbelievable data. These are we have a lifestyle brand, and this is where we're going to collect our user base. Not only do we have the luxury to have a target audience, but once we collect all these users and their user data, we have access for our other lines of business that's priceless, that would cost people incredible. So thank you for getting on the call. And thank you for all the emails that I've received over the past week of support. It was really awesome. It makes the job. It's hard, but it makes it worth it when you hear someone say, "Hey, keep up the good work." You know, so I just want to say thank you. I know Russ says the same thing. He asked me to reach out and tell everybody thanks for the kind words. Same thing with Tim Samuels. And you're going to meet our team as we go next week. I don't know if I'm going to be in Las Vegas or LA. Most likely, I might be in LA to take the call on video with our young actor from Young Sheldon. I think he's actually shooting on the 9th. So I may have to take it from there because he asked me to if he could be on the call. I said he could. And we're going to talk about the Growing Together Academy. And to me, that's incredibly exciting as well. And then we're going to continue with our fact series. So thank you again for everybody for participating in week 3 of CAVR Resources, the fact series. Have a great one. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob, and thank you everyone for joining.